listening to Dr. Jane Ruby, the medical contributor here on the Stu Peters Network. We are on the brink of medical martial law being enforced and ushered in by our own military. Obviously, we want to know more about that. To that end, Dr. Jane joins us now. Dr. Jane, what is this medical martial law that we are on the brink of witnessing?
Well, Stu, in June, the World Health Organization Director General Tedros, everybody knows who he is, Tedros
Oh,
Ghebreyesus,
yes,
Satan incarnate, convened his little emergency committee under the international health regulations to see if monkeypox, remember that from months ago, that if the monkeypox outbreak represented, and here's the key collection of words, a public health emergency of international concern. That's a very special phrase, Stu, because what it does, first of all, the committee didn't agree with him. He went ahead, and on July 23rd, some of you may know, he declared, quote, a public health emergency of international concern based on monkeypox. Pay no mind that monkeypox isn't even established as a real illness, okay? Pay no mind to the fact that they're using the fake PCR once again to claim that there are positive cases rampantly building up. And pay no mind that nothing is spreading of any major import outside of Africa relative to the symptoms they claim are monkeypox. But what he did accomplish, and this is why the phrase is really important, was he triggered a power shift. And he shifted the sovereignty, whether you want to believe it or not, of the United States to the Global World Health Organization with the full cooperation of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, backed up by the Department of Defense. Now, this is what many legal experts this past week that I've talked to, not just Todd Callender, but many of them concur, constitutes a live martial law situation here in the United States. Now, you may not feel like it, that you're living under martial law because you're going to the beach this weekend, you're walking into your grocery store, piling up your cart, traveling here and there, playing with your kids, going to their sporting events. But make no mistake, just because they're not implementing everything, what was put into place by the PrEP Act, the Emergency Powers Act, based on his statement, that tied it all together. The fact that they haven't instituted any harsh, tyrannical dictates doesn't mean you're not under martial law. People need to understand that at any moment, these laws are currently set up so that the Constitution is suspended, individual rights are suspended, and what I'm trying to say is that at any moment, if the government decides to, and they redemand masks, lockdowns, forced inoculations, they're set up for it, Stu. There's no, at least legally resisting it. Obviously, we're not going to go for it. Yesterday afternoon, I was honored to be part of the Military Medical Martial Law Symposium, headed up by Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Pete Chambers, Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Teresa Long, Generals McInerney and Vallely, Ann Vandersteel, and Reiner Fulmich. They warned the United States and the people that this is real, that it's alive, and that it's hanging over our heads. Now, there was a lot of, you may have heard, technical difficulty and evidence of a multi-pronged hacking that interfered with the symposium because a lot of us didn't get to do our breakouts. But nevertheless, the important thing is the main speakers were able to get out those warnings and the evidence. And so immediately following your show tonight on the Dr. Jane Ruby Show, we're going to take a close look at the parallels to the Nazi Holocaust, which included masks, the yellow stars, the lockdowns, the forced medical procedures. I mean, seriously, tell me we're not living.
And also included fake elections.